Hey y'all, it's Jeff, and it's also an exciting time to be an NA Poke. Much of the excitement could warrant its own video, but a lot of the fun comes from this episode right here. In the town nearby, they're chatting and gurgling about the signs of an omen. Although, I wonder if those warnings come to fruition in this episode. The Elder gets a sense that's reminiscent of the incident that happened 100 years ago, as in, a destruction that could have allegedly destroyed the world. The other RBTs are concerned, but they don't do much besides look worried. You could argue they got a bit shafted this arc, I guess depending on how important the red button is. The Explorer's machines are still active, and Glalie gleeful. We have Pogogo powered by the heroes, who I do wish we got to see more than be batteries this battle. It does feel like altogether they would sweep Zygarde, whose motives still remain unclear, unlike the crisp animation we get here. Amethio fires first against his grandpa, and Zygarde evades with the quickness, which I didn't realize how fast it was, got speeds over 60 miles per hour. Dot suggests focusing on landing hits, but that only gets them so far. Land Force keeps them at bay, and it's notable how many hits in particular Crocodile tanks. Next, he hits them with the Core Enforcer that takes me back to XYZ. Like, this move's only really been used in peak moments. And too bad Freed's out of commission, missing a moment I'm sure he would enjoy. It seems like Gibeon and his stock villain catchphrases have an answer to everything. 1,000 Arrows look super vibrant and effective. Some may have complaints about the trio battling too much together, but Amethio being there does spice things up. Gibeon's got a shot at him, and Amethio doesn't command a dodge for whatever reason, likely to allow Florigato this sick backup moment. We even see Liko lecture Amethio about being reckless. She is advising, in my mind, the strongest of the young explorers. He also does fit well with the group and supports Roy's plan to charge behind Florigato. With all of them charging Zygarde from all these angles, it is major final boss vibes. They notice 1,000 Arrows provides a gap and run with that. In defense, Zygarde's got 1,000 waves, and okay, Croco should be gone! They did not anticipate that block, but it does show how observant they are even in the midst of such a tense battle. Gibeon does not let up, and Amethio saving them all with Phantom Force, MVP moment. Also sweet how afterwards, the Mons attacked without being ordered. Croco's clever too, using a move that's super effective. Gibeon takes to heart Zygarde getting hit. Either he faults himself and or must feel strongly towards his partner to some degree. Granted, the kids feel just as strong. Dot and Amethio use their cutter attacks which provide an opening. The Mons get hit hard but endure it due to their bonds with the trainers, a recurring theme this episode, which also has lots of interesting arc decisions like attacks being called from these panels. Gibeon allows those attacks to land, getting them in range for Land's Wrath. That force even breaks their Terrastal. Focus shifts here to Florigato, who's hanging on by a vine. Gibeon takes aim at her, to which Liko calls out a counterattack. She was so passionate I thought she was about to charge Gibeon herself, but she only yelled out support to Flori again, though it is more solid depictions of these pervasive bonds. Surprisingly, she did charge towards her partner. Since it's not a standard Pokemon battle, Liko can get into the weeds, so to speak. Feeling Liko's strong emotions prompts Florigato to SHINKA, real Magic Girl vibes evolution, and fairly quick given the mid-battle circumstances. For someone who doesn't love bipedal cats, Mascarda's design is sick. Honestly makes Flori my least favorite of the line. This final starter evolution also makes the series feel climactic in a way that's never really been felt before. Amethio deduces Ceruledge has one attack left, which they use to provide an opening. As foreshadowed in the cave, he and Liko make a good team. So do Scards and Ceruledge, who uses the rest of its strength to block an attack. With Mascarda's remaining power, she reveals her new signature move, Flower Trick. This move literally looked bomb, and is well worth whatever it replaced. Either Sucker Punch or Magical Leaf. For a sec, I even thought Zygarde was defeated, but Liko would never beat the Mary Sue allegations. Gibeon implores Zygarde to finish them off, but it refuses. With that, now they skillfully avoided two poor writing choices. The dragon separated now, which could very well be its last appearance for a long while. Seemed to just wanted to test the kids, maybe to prove if they had the strength to protect the world. Gibeon's meltdown is pretty raw, existentially questioning why he lags behind his opponents. Lucius claims it's their bonds with the Mons. Gibeon mostly aimed to use his, while the others worked in tangent with theirs. It is a little cheesy, but it's also a speech I could very well see Ash giving. Plus, there were lots of great depictions of their closeness. An episode largely carried by the acting, so I'll be curious to see the dub. Finally, Pogogo's recovered its full strength, and a third form from the heroes. Animation looks great for this too, almost 3D. With this transformation, Terrapagos has terrastalized. Man, the climax of Horizons is here. First thing I'm curious about is the concern of the omen in the beginning. If our heroes came out victorious, what was there to be concerned about? Maybe that fear stems from something coming in the next episode. And if Zygarde's out of the picture, that only really leaves the Lockweum. As for Zygarde, well, they found a way to give us that final boss battle while keeping it true to its nature. Seems like it wanted to show Gibeon what true partnership looks like. So maybe it could return to him someday, although more likely I feel like it's gonna go to Amethio. The battle itself was serviceable. There are some nitpicks, Crocolore tanking a lot of super effective blows for example. Still, the teamwork, strategy, and animation were pretty impeccable. All that considered, I say this episode deserves a high B.